The year is 570 AC. Upon the gates of the Meccan city stands a glorious elephant, with a force of 40,000 men following up behind him, ready for battle. But as the army prepares to overpower the force resisting them, a flock of birds are spotted, ordered to carry out a demand which would be remembered as the story of the people of the elephant. To understand the story of the people of the elephant, we first have to look over the Aksumite expansion throughout modern Yemen. Around the years of 520 AC, the Aksumite king, Caleb I, had received letters and heard news of Christians' persecution in modern-day Yemen. And on top of that, Caleb's ally, Justinian the Great, had requested his friend's aid to fend off the Persians while he was busy fighting in Rome. Caleb had wasted no time. He assembled an army of 70 to 100,000 men and appointed them two generals, Ariat and Abraha. By the year 531, the Aksumites held firm control over the Yemenese territories, and the two generals, who had formed a close brotherhood, decided that only one of them could take all the credit for the conquest. And so, the two men settled on a duel that Abraha won. Now that Abraha had taken the credit for the expedition, he was given control over the conquered territories, and he could not be any happier. With this newly given level of authority, Abraha sought to take full control over the Arabic tribes and help the Aksumite allies win their battles. Looking northwards, Abraha realized that the Arabs were stone worshippers, and Mecca, under Quraysh control at the given moment, was the center of this paganist action, with modern-day Kaaba being the house of the idols. With the given notes in mind, Abraha decided to build a church at Sana'a to spread the word of Christianity, take the worshippers away from the Arabs, and destroy the Quraysh tribe economically. Now, of course, when the Arabic tribesmen heard of such a plan, they were not pleased, and so they decided to destroy their competition by desecrating the mighty church. Evidence varies on how the church was damaged. Some believe that parts of church were destroyed by small Arabic forces, while others believe that the tribesmen had burned the church down to the ground. Regardless on how the damage was done, Abraha was furious, and he too decided to destroy the competition that was against him. And so, he gathered an army of 40,000 men, followed by his mighty elephant named Mahmud. It's important to note that Abraha had a small exchange with Abdul Muttalib, the grandfather of the Holy Prophet. Abdul Muttalib warned Abraha that the Lord had plans for Kaaba, and that he should turn around and leave. But of course, surprise, surprise, Abraha did not listen. Once Abraha marched with his men to the gates of Mecca, Abdul Muttalib gathered the civilians and took refuge on a hillside. As Abraha's army began to close in around the city, something unexpected happened. A flock of birds approached Abraha's force at a high speed, and each bird was spotted carrying a small piece of rock. Once the birds were above Abraha's army, with the will of Allah, the stones were dropped, and misery erupted. The stones pierced through armors like bullets. Men began to run left and right, seeking protection. Abraha himself tried running away, but it was too late. By the time the birds were gone, Abraha and his men lied motionless. Allah had saved the Kaaba, for he had plans for his final messenger, and he made sure that the Kaaba was kept safe by having the rest of the Aksumites kicked out of the Arabian Peninsula by the Sasanians. The Sasanians had gotten a hold of Justinian's request and Aksumites' plans, and so the Sasanian king, Khosrow Anushirwan, quickly sent his men to liberate the Yemenese territories. Later in the same year, a child would be born, who would bring the stone worshippers towards Allah, and would create a vast Islamic world for all to know. he would be called Muhammad.